let's go. All right, guys, welcome back. I said earlier on that I was going to launch something. I was going to make a video and drop something basically. So I'm keeping my promise. I don't want to forget. So I did set up a reminder to get this video out there. Right. So this is obviously a Bitcoin chart. Don't worry too much about what chart it is. We are not going to be talking about Bitcoin. I'm driving right now, so I don't really want to be flipping through charts and whatnot. Right. The question that arose was how, a certain coin has some government involvement or a centralized involvement, right? And I wanted to clear some air regarding centralization and decentralization, right? So, I mean, this is just me just being logical. So, don't take my word for it, but facts are facts, and I'm just going to state the facts here, nothing more, right? One of the biggest facts about majority of the coins on this planet, right, in the crypto sphere, is that they have been launched with VCs and all sorts of ICOs and whatnot. Different companies and institutions are already involved. Massive technological companies who are public, right, one form or another. So we either know who built it or what's going on, right? All of this indicates one thing: it's centralized, right? It was created in a centralized manner. That's how you know where to go and find these people, right? So yes, it could be operating in a decentralized way, and a lot of the projects have become decentralized in many forms, right? And one of those could be like, how many nodes and who's operating the nodes, and all of those kind of, mini facts, along with it. That's what makes it decentralized. But most of these projects are centralized. Like Ethereum, when it launched, it had an ICO. Fine, it's got the Ethereum Foundation. It's fine, right? It's got a Fortune 500 companies plugging their people into it. Fine. This is all centralization, So you have to understand this. Also, there are other projects out there where they pick and choose who can have the nodes, who can do block explorers, like all of these kind of things, like, block confirmations and whatnot, right? All of this means it's centralized. Barrier to entry creates centralization. So yes, it could be completely decentralized. The founders thought, okay, we're going to make this as decentralized as possible and as safe as possible. But in order for that safety, there were some barriers to entry where they had to spend millions, to enter. And only a handful of people could do this, right? So that makes it centralized as well. So please do understand that most projects, even though if they intend to be decentralized, they still become centralized. Now, as for this person, whoever it was, I forgot the name, right, who tweeted something, and this is where the subject came up from. He wants to sell all of his ETH and he wants to leave, yeah? Do you know what? Good luck to you, mate. Good luck. If you can bring the market down, happy days, I'll buy it for cheap, right? I don't care whether it's centralized or it's decentralized, because to me, decentralization means I don't have to rely on somebody else. That's what the whole definition of decentralization means for me. So I'm not even going to bring Bitcoin to the subject. I'm not going to bring anybody. I don't care, right? Monero, Privacy Coin, whatever. I don't care. I don't want to bring none of those. All I want to talk about is decentralization. So the term that we use, not your keys, not your coins, right? Very simple. If you're going to be relying on a centralized entity, that is centralization to me, full stop, right? Whether it's money, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Ethereum, whether it's another shitcoin, it doesn't matter. The point is, anything that is you have to rely on another party is definitely centralized, right? Decentralized, the definition for me is if I have the power to control it, that is decentralized. So I'm talking about my own private wallet, my own private seeds. This is my asset. For example, money in your bank is centralized, but money in your house or cash is decentralized, right? Gold, you bought gold stock, that's centralized, that's paper money, right? But if it's in your home, you have the physical gold, that is decentralized. So there's plenty of ways of, you can have this thing being centralized and decentralized, right? So that's how I look at certain things. So I don't care who's centralized and why not. But the whole thing came about because recently in the United States, the government sanctioned Tornado Cash. I don't know how many of you know about Tornado Cash. It was a mixing service, right? Where you can go in, mix your ETH, BTC, whatever, your USDC, whatever, and kind of make yourself anonymous. So it wasn't about a decentralization. It wasn't about bad characters or bad actors, right? It was basically some people just wanted to make sure their transactions are private, so you don't know who it is. So somehow the government got around and decided to sanction these addresses that had something to do with Tornado Cash. That's all it was. And that triggered the point where, Ethereum is centralized. Well, guess what, right? If you didn't know, a lot of these tokens that have been built on Ethereum, who have their own native so-called tokens, right? So any asset that has been tokenized on Ethereum, well, guess what? If you're using those blockchains, right, somebody somewhere can snoop in and see who you are. Somebody somewhere can blacklist your whole project, right? So are you centralized or are you decentralized? Well, guess what? If you're part of Ethereum, if you're part of Avalanche, if you're part of Binance, whatever, you're still centralized. Let's just put it that way. You're centralized, right? Because there's another project, another blockchain that is governing you. And it seems that the government has figured out a way to sanction some of these projects. All right? True decentralized projects need to be able to run in a true decentralized way in order for them to stay anonymous, XYZ or whatever. So, of course, do I say BTC is decentralized? To a certain extent. But is it going to stay decentralized? Maybe not, right? Because what you have to understand is that we've opened the floodgates to the institutions. And when they come in and they start buying and they start holding, it is going to be more and more centralized than you think, right? So decentralization is all about control. It's how much control you have over your asset, right? Or how much control, the actual founders have given away. That means, do the founders control that coin? So in Ethereum's case, yes, they do. In BTC's case, yes, they do. Why? Because the developers can upload a code that can change everything, right? So do I really care if it's centralized or decentralized? No, I don't, right? Am I going to dump all my assets? No. I'm going to pick up the dips, buy as much discount as possible because I'm in it to win, I'm in it to make money, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, when I see it's too much that I have no option to buy, sell, trade. For example, Tornado Cash we just mentioned. Now it's rendered useless because anyone who's touched it, right, you're screwed. You cannot transact because you're completely blacklisted, right? So that's something that I would have to give up. Has BTC gone through that stage? No. Has Ethereum gone through that stage? No. Has the other 20,000 coins gone through that stage? No. So end of the day, for me, it doesn't matter, right? Whether it's centralized or decentralized, it doesn't matter. Because remember one thing, right? Years ago, right? And I'm talking 2015, 2016. Everybody has been pushing, everybody, right? The big boys in crypto have been pushing cryptocurrency, right, to the masses, to the institutions, right? A lot of these boys went out there preaching crypto to the institutions. Well, guess what? They're here now. And if you want to keep them here, then you've got to have some level of centralization. There will have to be some level of regulation. Well, guess what? You opened the floodgates. You wanted to make more money. Well, now you're going to make more money as long as you bought it back then, right? You're definitely going to make more money, but in a controlled manner. So, end of the day, those who entered at an early stage, good luck to all of you. You're making money, and I bet you're all on the same boat where you do not give a damn basically what is centralized and what is decentralized, right? The only thing that matters is centralization. Did you do your KYC? Did you go into an exchange? Are you storing it in an exchange? Is this exchange going to prevent some sort of a bank run, whatever? That's what you need to be concerned about. If you're free to buy and sell your cryptocurrency via your own personal crypto wallet, as far as I'm concerned, that is decentralized. Full stop, right? How they operate, what they do, I don't give a damn, right? Because I'm in it to make the money. So I hope this kind of makes sense, right? Some people, maybe they just want to tweet something because they want to grab some attention. They clearly got your attention. You guys probably know already, unless there's something to really talk about, I can't be bothered. I'm not out there hyping, fudding, FOMOing, doing whatever. I'm not there seeking attention. I just see things for what they are, right? You know, once upon a time, I don't know how many of you actually done the history, you know, during the like the gold rush, right, where any Tom, Dick and Harry could have literally gone in and dug up some place or whatever, and he could have got himself some gold and become rich. That was the gold rush. Now you can't do that. Now you need licenses to go and dig up the gold, right? So think about that. Decentralized became centralized, right? We had the black gold, right? The time of the black gold, where the oil people, anybody could go dig anywhere and become oil rich, right? Well, now you can't. Now you need a license. You find oil, you got to tell the authorities, and then the authorities would decide what they do with your oil, right? So that's what happens. This is the reality. When you want things to be governed and when you want things to be controlled, right, where they're not volatile, you're going to go in, you're going to have a safe investment, right? You're going to be looking at, oh, what happens if I lose money? Am I going to be protected? Well, you're going to be looking for protection, right? You're going to be looking for protection. What do you think you're going to get? You're going to get centralization, because that means rules and regulation mean books and papers, right? Means somebody's going to come there, make some regulations in order to control the situations. So do I really care? Ultimately, I don't. I'm not going to have a rant over this again. But no, I don't really care. I see myself some opportunities, buying opportunities, good buying opportunities. What others say, just noise to me. I don't really care. People can be as bullish as they want. Doesn't matter. I only state the facts, right? People can be as bearish as they want. It doesn't matter. Again, I'm only stating the facts. I've talked about the probabilities, and we have a 50-50 chance to go and test down again, possibly the 18.5, possibly the what do you call this, the 17.5 once more. Once we get there, then we have a chance of going below. But if we go there and bounce, then we start creating, you know, higher lows, for example. Then yeah, it's just another trend. And also, a lot of you guys that follow this channel forgot one fact, right? You forgot one fact, that back in 2021, close to a year ago, I mentioned on the video where I talked about the 1 chart 3 scenarios, right? And I talked about how the market will be starting to become positive from September if we fail in March. And guess what? We failed in March. So now guess what we're in? We're in August. That means market has started to make its move, right? Which means the accumulation phase, the time to buy and hodl, is here right now. Of course, this is not a financial advice, because I'm not your financial advisor. You haven't paid me for it. But that's not the point. The point is, end of the day, right, we are here right now at this time, you can say, I mean, later on you would say, one day you would say in history, right, that here's another opportunity. And BTC does this over and over again. Every bull run, doesn't matter how big of a bull run it is, whether it's a halfway bull run or a full bull run, it always gives you opportunities, rinse and repeat. But again, a lot of people don't understand. So for me, if this market is going to be dragged down by some FUD, I'll take that as a signal to buy more, right? That's what I want to see. When all the FUD is so dire, when everybody's crying, when there's so much blood on the streets, that's when I'm going to be the happiest, right? And that's what I'm actually waiting for right now. Of course, I've mentioned to you yesterday as well that I've got plenty of buy orders set up at those specific levels, and you can see that here on this 19,333, 17,365, 16,316, and this 13,850. Anything below this I haven't looked at. I'm not really that fast. I don't think we're going to go there. I mean, that would be a greatest opportunity, right? So people would say, worst case scenario, we go down to 9K, 10K. No, best case scenario, we go to 10K. Best case scenario, we go to 10K. Guess what the worst case scenario would be right now? The market doesn't go down. That's the worst case scenario. You're left hanging. You're left waiting there looking for that big discount. That's the thing. You don't want to be there. What you want to do right now, and this is not a financial advice, obviously, is DCA. People who DCA never lose money. So I hope all this makes sense. Centralization, decentralization, tornado cash nonsense, whatever, government sanctioning. Yes, you know, when you know who the founder is, when you know who they are, when you know they have control over the code, when you have a full-on development team that's public, and you have people from the Fortune 500 companies sitting there in Ethereum Foundation, and you have protocols and cryptocurrency projects built on Ethereum, well, what did you expect, right? The government can just send a sanctioning letter over there. We need Tornado Cash to be blacklisted, and guess what? Everybody does that. But one thing I want to mention here as well, Tornado Cash gets blacklisted, not a problem, by Ethereum doing whatever, that's fine. Decentralized exchange, centralized exchange is blacklisted, fine. Decentralized exchange, calling themselves decentralized. They call themselves decentralized, DeFi. They also blacklist. So, my friends, I would only tell you one thing, that be cautious what you think of decentralized. Because if decentralized also bends over to the government and any other companies or whatnot, right, then they're not decentralized. Very simple as that. If you're decentralized means you're untouchable. Like, for example, Monero, right? Monero is a privacy coin, right? But nobody can do nothing to stop it. That is true decentralization. They don't bend over to anybody. They've been banned from exchanges. Centralized exchanges says, we're not going to touch Monero. Has Monero suffered? No. Is Monero stopping? No. Right? Can anybody stop you from buying, selling, trading Monero? No. So that, my friend, is decentralization. Right? So that's what you need to understand. I mean, a lot of these decentralized exchanges calling themselves decentralized clearly have not been decentralized, and yeah, it's just one of those kind of things. So I hope this kind of all makes sense. Obviously, I'm having a bit of a rant, but that's not the point. The point is what is the true decentralization and what is not, and what's centralization going to do to anybody? Absolutely nothing. You know, it's not going to help you, that's for sure, in the long run, right? And if we are going to see the big money, if you are going to see the trillions of dollars coming in, then that's exactly what's going to happen. So expect it, right? You know, I normally say expect the unexpected, but here I'm going to say expect centralization to be a part of everyday life in crypto, because that's the fact. That's what's going to be coming in if you want the big money to come in. And of course, big money is going to come in later if you've already bought it, right? If you haven't, I feel sorry for you, because you're going to be buying the tops and we're going to be selling it at that time. So other than that, guys, like, share, subscribe, and I'm going to catch you on another one very soon. Hopefully I'll do another drive time like this, and I hope the audio quality is okay. I'm driving, so that's one of the reasons why I scheduled it like this. But yeah, let's see what happens end of the day. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on another one very soon. Adios, my amigos.